From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White. King Charles has become the first reigning monarch in decades to deliver a speech from the throne in Canada, laying out the new government's legislative priorities.
King Charles addressed the elephant in the room, underscoring Canadian sovereignty several times when reading the speech from the throne. It follows months of U.S. President Donald Trump waxing on about making Canada the 51st state. The King's speech says Canadians can give themselves far more than any foreign power can ever take away, and it ended on a patriotic note.
The true north is indeed strong and free.
This speech also came with some surprise news committing Canada to joining Rearm Europe, a defense plan designed to build up Europe's arms industry. Kyle Duggan, The Canadian Press, Ottawa.
The King and Queen took part in a parade to Parliament ahead of the throne speech. Stefania Torres says it was important for her to stand along the route.
Didn't get to meet his mother, but I thought I needed to be here for him, for the mother.
King Charles wrapped up the whirlwind royal visit by laying a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. A transnational defense expert says Canada should try to convince the U.S. investing more in the military is a lot harder to do during a global trade war. Laval University professor Anessa Kimball says Ottawa should leverage U.S. President Donald Trump's calls for NATO members to increase their military spending and use them to press the case against his tariff agenda. Ontario's lone First Nation member of the legislature says uncovering a statue of Sir John A. Macdonald will cause pain and anger for Canada's Indigenous communities. The statue of Canada's first Prime Minister has been boxed up since it was vandalized in 2020. Macdonald is considered an architect of the country's notorious residential school system. Former television personality and current U.S. health official Dr. Oz wants to rescue a herd of BC ostriches facing a cull over avian flu. He offered to relocate the birds to his ranch in Florida, but the family that owns the farm isn't interested in moving the flock. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency ordered the birds culled after an avian flu outbreak. A team of Canadian researchers has used artificial intelligence to figure out which patients could develop life-threatening sepsis. Dr. Claudia DeSantos at Toronto's St. Michael's Hospital says sepsis is hard to predict because patients have non-specific symptoms.
They can have a fever, they can have a white blood cell count, they can have a high respiratory rate, they can have a high heart rate, and they can have a low blood pressure, they can be confused, they can have a low urine output. But that can be associated with a bunch of other things.
The research team made a small instrument that only needs a couple drops of blood to detect 6 genes that appear in higher levels in patients who go on to develop sepsis. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the Edmonton Oilers can take a 3-1 lead tonight in the NHL's Western Conference Final. Dallas #1 center Roope Hintz will again be a game-time decision after a Darnell Nurse slash to the lower part of his left leg in Game 2. The Edmonton defenseman spoke with reporters about the exchange for the first time this morning.
Unfortunate, must have got him in a bad spot, and you don't want to go out there and hurt anyone. But it was just one of those plays that happens so often.
Hintz took warm-ups ahead of Game 3 but did not play. The London Knights will take on the Medicine Hat Tigers tonight at the Memorial Cup in Rimouski, Quebec. The winner will clinch top spot in the preliminary round at the Elite Major Junior Hockey Tournament. In baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays continue a 3-game series with the Rangers tonight in Arlington, Texas. And Montreal's Felix Auger-Aliassime is out of the French Open after losing to Italy's Matteo Arnaldi. From the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.